Welcome to Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them, a weekly podcast hosted by Stacy Jones, the CEO and founder of Los Angeles entertainment marketing agency Hollywood Branded. Join Stacy and learn from her 20 years of experience as she shares top-notch advice on marketing best practices for brands and walks you through how to leverage entertainment content and influencer partnerships to increase your brand's overall consumer engagement and, most importantly, your sales. And now, here's your host, Stacy Jones.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. I'm Stacy Jones, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to implement an influencer marketing strategy that works. It can be a lot of money to spend without a strategy in place, and when it comes to online marketing, there's a pretty good chance that we can guess what two of your main goals are. First, to build brand authority, and secondly, to increase brand awareness. If you're listening to my podcast series, then the odds are that you've probably come to the right conclusion that one of the most effective ways to achieve both is through influencer marketing. However, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And I've seen plenty of businesses use inappropriate methods to reach out to industry influencers. You could end up burning bridges with some of the most powerful influencers in your industry as a result, thereby blemishing your reputation. Keeping that in mind, you'll want to make sure that you implement influencer marketing that actually works. You need to understand what the role of an influencer is. Influencers are individuals within the industry that have a large following within the social media stratosphere and therefore have a big platform that they can use to influence their audience. By identifying who your industry's influencers are and by building a relationship with them, they can help expose your brand to their audience and drive their followers to act. Their authority as an influencer means that their followers trust them, making it easier for influencers to promote your brand. Our team has realized that there are two major challenges facing any brand that's trying to employ influencer marketing. Those are, first, finding influencers that are relevant to the brand, and second, figuring out how to build a meaningful relationship with that influencer. The following are a few suggestions for influencer marketing strategies that you may want to use in a future campaign. To start with, you want to identify the right influencer. This can actually be a bit more difficult than you might think. For example, you would think that a food critic would be a relevant influencer for a small restaurant, but this might not be true if the food critic only reviews fine dining type establishments in New York City and you're running a small sandwich shop out of LA. You've got to look for an influencer who operates within your niche of the industry. Additionally, influencers with the biggest audiences aren't necessarily the best for you. You're more likely going to have to compete with other brands to get that influencer's attention, and they're also likely going to require a greater amount of compensation for that attention too. And then there's courting the influencer. Immediately reaching out to an influencer isn't generally a good idea. It can come off as a little spammy to do so. If they've never heard of you before, they're also more likely to just ignore you, especially since as an influencer, they're probably being contacted by other brands on a daily basis. Because of this, it's important that you actually court the influencer before you engage with them. What exactly does this mean? It means that you should make your presence known so they know who you are before you reach out. It's like dating. Would you just walk up to a random stranger and say, "Hey, I'm Mike. You want to go out with me?" Probably not. You might come up and say, "Hey, I like your sweater. Where do you live?" At the very least, you're going to go up and make small talk in order to get to know each other just a little bit first. The best way to do this is to start following them on social media and to begin engaging within the content that they are posting, such as by leaving valuable comments and sharing their content on your page. By engaging with their content, you're providing them with exposure to your own followers, which they will appreciate. This gives you a good foundation from which you can hopefully build a relationship on. And then there's engaging the influencer. Once you've courted the influencer and have made your presence known, it's time to engage them. The easiest way to reach out to them is through direct messages on social media. Don't just blurt out that you want them to mention your brand. Instead, tell them why you follow them and why you love their content. This is enough, and you're not trying to advertise your brand or push yourself onto them right away. In the message, relay that you would like to connect with them and that you will send them a personal email soon. When you do send an email, it should be somewhat informal and provide information about your brand, such as a link to your site. Don't tell them what you want from them until they engage with you and express interest. You don't want to come off as a door-to-door salesman after all. And then you need to be clear about your needs. Know what you want from the influencer ahead of time and determine an appropriate offer for their services. If you're not clear about what you want, you could end up paying for something that's not helpful. These are a few tips on influencer marketing that will help make it work for your brand. Influencer marketing can be extremely effective if done right, but it can also be a little tricky if not done quite correctly. And for more tips, stop by HollywoodBranded.com to check out our only guide to social influencer marketing you'll need. and to look at our library, which has infographics, white papers, ebooks, and videos, or our blog, blog.hollywoodbranded.com, which has hundreds of helpful hints on how to make brands influencer and entertainment content partnerships a success from the get-go. That's it for this episode. I hope it was helpful, and please let me know if you have any feedback. I'll see you next week. And as always, if you need a little or a lot of help, my agency, Hollywood Branded, is here to lend a hand. If you would leave a review or any questions I can address in the future, I'd really appreciate it, as your feedback helps me know my advice is valuable and interesting to you.
Are you ready to make the magic of product placement, celebrity event activations, or influencer partnerships help your sales? Visit HollywoodBranded.com to gain access to free content to learn which key tactics best fit your brand. You'll find surveys, webinars, daily blogs, ebooks, and guides, all created to make sure you have access to the best possible marketing practices. Don't forget to join Stacy Jones for our next podcast conversation about marketing mistakes and how to avoid them. Let's make that entertainment marketing magic happen for you.